This is my M1 iPad Pro. It came out in 2021, which is wild because in tech years, that's basically ancient. I use this thing as my creative companion, my camera monitor, and my entertainment device. And occasionally, it even doubles down as a gaming device that can handle even Resident Evil 4 Remake with almost zero stutter. And I know what you're thinking. M5 iPad are here. Heck, even M6 is probably around the corner. Why are we talking about the M1 iPad Pro in 2026? Well, because here's the truth. For most people in 2026, the M1 iPad Pro is still more than good enough. And buying the newest iPad can be one of the easiest ways to just waste your hard-earned money. Not because the new ones are bad or anything, they're actually incredible, but because the M1 iPad Pro still delivers 90% of the iPad experience for most people. And in this video, I want you to ask yourself this simple question. Do you need a tandem OLED M5 iPad Pro just to scroll on YouTube and watch some Netflix? Today, I'm going to break down what still makes this iPad Pro great, what iPadOS 26 did for it, how the design and the build quality has held up, performance, battery life, and who should actually upgrade and who absolutely shouldn't upgrade to any latest iPad. To understand why this iPad has aged so well, you've got to remember what Apple did in 2021. Apple took the M1 chip from the MacBook, a legit laptop class chip, and dropped it into a tablet form. And at the time, it felt like complete overkill because iPadOS at the time didn't really know what to do with such power yet. And to be fair, iPadOS probably still doesn't know exactly what to do with so much power in an iPad. But funny enough though, that's actually the key here. This iPad was basically built for the future. And in 2026, we're finally living in said future. Let's start with the design. This is one of those Apple designs that just doesn't age. Flat sides, premium aluminum build, thin, clean, and I dare you to put the M1 iPad Pro next to a newer iPad Pro 11-inch. I bet that most people would struggle to tell the difference for which is which, unless you're a hardcore tech person. Now, when it comes to the screen, that really depends on which model you have. If you get the 12.9-inch M1 iPad Pro, you get the Liquid Retina XDR mini LED display. If you have the 11-inch model, like I have, you don't get the XDR mini LED, it's an LCD display. But it's still a fantastic screen. Colors are rich and vibrant, black level is pretty good, and the performance on the screen is great. You get 120 Hz ProMotion, and once you get used to 120 Hz for years, going back to 60 Hz feel like your iPad is tired. And it's probably a reason why I wouldn't recommend people going to 60 Hz iPad. Apple has even upgraded the base iPhone 17 to 120 Hz ProMotion. And hopefully the base iPad will see the same upgrade in the future. But honestly, I wouldn't get my hopes up on that front. Let's talk about performance. And yes, M4 and M5 iPads are faster, but here's the thing nobody likes to say out loud, especially the tech bros out there. Just because the new one is faster doesn't mean that the old one is slow. The M1 iPad Pro is still ridiculously fast for what you actually do on an iPad. I'm talking about writing and researching, having Safari open with million tabs, photo editing, multitasking, even some 4K editing and more. This thing handles everything. Apps open instantly, it stays smooth, and for most people, the iPad experience is limited by software workflows, not the raw chip itself. I've literally edited a bunch of videos on this channel with this iPad. So in 2026, the M1 chip is honestly still overkill for most iPad users, and that's exactly why it's aged so well. Battery life is the one area where your experience will vary if you're on a M1 iPad Pro in 2026. This iPad, however, can still easily be a full-day device depending on your workflow. And for me, I haven't really had any issues when it comes to the battery of my M1 11-inch iPad Pro. Now, the biggest reason I'm still using this iPad in 2026 is because of iPadOS 26. iPadOS 26 finally makes the iPad feel like it's allowed to be powerful. A new liquid design, revamped file management, and the improved multitasking and Windows make this feel way more like a flexible work machine and not just a big iPhone. The M1 iPad Pro was always capable because of the chip. We were just waiting for a software to catch up, and now it actually has catching up. The big question is always, will this iPad get left behind? And the good news is the M1 iPads are still in the game. Using this M1 iPad Pro for brainstorming, writing scripts, and researching is fantastic with Apple Intelligence still. And it really unlocks new tools for you to work with. Now, I'm not going to pretend that nobody should ever upgrade. You should consider upgrading if you want the newest OLED display tech, or you know that you're going to be pushing your iPad with heavy pro workflows, or your M1 battery health is cooked. But for everybody else, casual users or even people doing light creative work, the M1 iPad Pro is still one of the smartest iPad choices in 2026. So yeah, in 2026, I'm sticking with my M1 iPad Pro 11-inch. Not because I don't like new and shiny stuff, but because this is one of those rare devices where Apple accidentally made it so ahead of its time that it's still the smartest choice years later. If you already own the M1 iPad Pro, keep it, update it, and enjoy it. If you're shopping right now, though, a used or refurbished M1 iPad Pro can be the best value iPad purchase you can make, as long as you're smart about the battery condition. Now, leave your comments in the comment section. Are you still rocking the M1 iPad Pro in 2026? If not, what Apple devices are you rocking? And what would Apple have to do to make you upgrade from your M1 iPad Pro? Thanks for watching, guys, and if you've enjoyed this video, you know the drill, smash the like button, and hey, maybe even hit subscribe. Peace.